Hey, it's John, LBF Little Blue Ford, and I'm here with Paul, and work on fuel lines for the Choptop. So, got the old lines off, and like terrible YouTubers didn't film it. So this was the front lines, and my adapter concoction from years ago. I've actually posted a picture of that adapter set up on Facebook before for the Sloppy Mechanics page. That's some sketchy stuff for fuel injection.
Yeah.
Front lines, I didn't notice any leaks, but this is the rear line section. So this was back at the pump area, which you can see somebody had already spliced a repair in there years ago, which was part of my prompting. And then we had a leak there, a leak there, big leak up here, and now I just noticed apparently there was a leak right there too. So
You want to explain what you're doing? What you're making them out of?
So I'm doing AN fittings on stainless braided PTFE. And for the return line, I'm actually going to put a piece of hard line in for a section of it, just because it's a little cheaper. So I got to cut this off. I've already marked it. I made this one line so far. This is from the rail to the filter. So this one I'm about to finish making. That'll be the return that runs from the rail down past the filter, and then I'm going to pick up a hard line there back most of the way to the tank and just do a short flexible line at the tank. So I'll get this cut, we'll get this made up. Even wearing gloves, I still get pricked with this stuff. It's the only thing I don't like about it, but you can see braided PTFE stainless. That piece on.
And then you take that brass fitting.
Yeah. Just kind of. This is just a punch that happens to be a good size for this. To spread that back out after it gets cut. Make sure you get this brass all the way seated on the end of the pipe. There's a little shoulder in there and underneath the stainless. And then you gotta lube the threads and the fitting a little bit.
And what do you find best to use?
So I've just been using Vaseline. It also works good for doing valve body work for the gaskets. You can buy special stuff for both transmissions and another one for this, but this is the cheap method. The old-fashioned cheap method.
And then you slide that into the plastic tube?
Yeah, make sure that when you're putting it in, you get it in the plastic tube and that you don't crush the plastic tube. Make sure that's all seated. Slide your end up. Get started.
And they have a special thing for you to clamp
This
it.
is yeah, this is just some aluminum vice draw inserts. I'll show you once I get this fitting made up here.
And you said you want to make sure that top's just sitting tight right on the top?
Yeah, you want to make sure that this goes tight against the nut and you want to have the proper way to do it is get tight against the nut and line up the flats.
Okay.
So that this is lined up flat to flat.
And again, they sell the ends in different colors, black, blue, and red.
I did black for the return line on this, and these blue and reds from Summit were a little cheaper, so I'm using those for the pressure line just so that it's easier to tell the difference between them. Yeah. This is going to be coming off the tank for the pressure side, so I'm just going to run for the pressure side all the way up to the filter with this. I had thought about running the hard line for the return all the way up, but looking at things under there, I'm just not sure that that's a viable option.
Now we're doing this too to save us from having to redo it again and over.
Right.
Because it'll eventually rot out again, and being in Pennsylvania.
Well, this stuff won't rot, and that's the beauty of it. So
it's a little pricier than doing it the way it came from the factory, but when you're in a salt belt where they use salt on the roads all the time, it's a lot better.
I mean, Dorman sells it, the nylon line that a lot of manufacturers use, which is what that is. They sell the ends and a tool to get them on. It's a little cheaper than AN. Not a whole lot, but it is cheaper. If you're not planning on doing other stuff, I went to AN partly just because I can use this for power steering line, I can use this for coolant, I can use it for whatever I need to use it for.
Which we'll be using for the Green Ranger, which we are still working on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. These are just magnetic aluminum
inserts.
Got little magnetic, so they stay in there. Yeah. So we'll go over to the Choptop and get these fished in place and figure out where this piece needs cut, and we'll get the rest of the lines made. We can take you over there. I got the adapters on the fuel rail already, and the adapters on the tank and everything, so we'll go show you that.
We'll be back.
Alright, so on here I already got the adapter fittings on, so I got them tucked down here where they really ought to be, because before, with all the adapters and everything, those lines came way up in here, which just...
You wanted them out of your way.
Yeah, I didn't like the placement there. I didn't like all the problems.
Sorry if it's a little dark. I don't know if you can see down in there or not.
Every time I think that, the camera picks it up better than I thought it would.
Ain't that how it is?
So...
Now you're just feeding these lines down to the filter.
Yeah. Probably get it right through there. So I'll get those worked down where they need to go. Let's go to the back. So I have an access hole into the pump, and I got the fittings on there already. A 3/8 and the 5/16, and speed flow 90 to keep it as short as possible. So that's all there. These are the holes. I want to go and drill these holes out and put nut search them now that I have them instead of screws. So that'll be a little nicer. Fuel filter, I put the ends on already. and got that back in place. So now I'm going to work on getting the lines connected up and getting the rear lines measured out and cut and fitted, and so bring it back as we're working. Alright, so still got to deal with the vent line because apparently I need some 1/4 inch rubber line to make my connections for the vent hose, and I don't have any right now. And of course the parts stores are now closed. So we'll get the vent line on tomorrow, but I got all the lines on there. Probably can't really see them. They're tucked in there, nice and neat. Got them all run all the way back. Got all my connections up at the tank here, done. And I've checked for leaks, so the next step is to find out. So let's start. So here we go. So there we go. And we'll get back to you when we get the rest of it done. Alright, so Choptop, I have the all the lines run all the way back there. I was actually able to clip them into the factory locations, so that was cool. But yeah, so that's done. Little side bonus, I just changed this, my transmission mount. It's seen better days. That might be part of my problem. I still need to do the cross member, but getting there. So yeah, the fuel lines are done. They're not leaking. Thanks for watching.